The Salton Sea, created by accident from 1905 to 1907, used to be an escape from the congestion of the Los Angeles area. Today, it's the Salton Sea that's congesting LA, with toxic dust storms becoming more and more common and asthma rates skyrocketing in the Imperial Valley. The once idyllic sea is both a haven of ecological destruction and a source of health problems in Southern California. Toxic dust storms are more frequently happening in the region and are quickly becoming a normal occurrence. Indio, at the northern end of the Salton Sea, already experiences some of the nation's worst particle air pollution and dust from sandstorms, accounting for 70% of the Coachella Valley's haze.
Jill Johnston and Sheree Farzan, both assistant professors at USC's Department of Health, are studying the health effects from the Salton Sea's toxic dust.
So we became interested because they were worried about more dust in the area. So we just started looking into some of the health issues in the area. And so there's very high levels of particulate matter and also very high levels of childhood asthma.
The Imperial Valley grows enough lettuce to feed over 2 billion people, using an average 2.8 million acre-feet of water per year. Farming goes hand in hand with pesticide use, and the runoff from irrigation goes straight to the Salton Sea and directly impacts the ecosystems there, with 25 different pesticides being detected in the water in 2006. Those pesticides include heavy metals such as selenium, arsenic, and sulfates, all of which can become toxic to both humans and animals in large amounts, causing nail and hair loss, nervous system damage, and inflammation in the lungs, respectively.
If the Salton Sea dries up, toxic dust will be unleashed into the air all throughout Southern California, risking the health of millions.
And it's really fine dust. It's laden with chemicals from agricultural runoff, such as pesticides, toxic metals. There have been studies showing that there are things like DDT and arsenic and other heavy metals in that sediment.
As water use in the valleys become more restricted due to current drought, farmers are stuck between irrigating their crops and contributing that runoff water to the playa, or finding other methods of water-efficient farming. As the pollutants enter the lake, water is evaporated, and the pollutants precipitate since the Salton Sea has no natural exit, and once the water is there, it stays stagnant. The lake continues to dry out, and dust containing those pollutants is formed, and is then spread into the air, becoming part of the particulate matter that comprises air pollution. That particulate matter is also spread throughout the region through toxic dust storms due to the intense wind in the hot, dry desert. It then travels hundreds of miles, polluting areas not related to the source, acidifying other bodies of water, and destroying ecosystems. Similar cases have been seen in the Soviet Union at the Aral Sea, where 40% of the lake bottom was evaporated, exposing about 40 million tons of dust, salt, pesticides, and hydrocarbons that were then swept up in the toxic dust storms each year, causing respiratory and mouth cancers among the 5 million people living in the area. In 2012, a cloud of sulfur gas that stemmed from the Salton Sea caused residents in the Los Angeles area to experience the negative effects of the pollutants, mainly a strong rotten egg odor, and effectively causing an increase of hydrogen sulfide from the state standard of 30 parts per billion to 106 parts per billion.
And as the Salton Sea's water level decreases over time, the level of dust rises, causing more health problems, especially among kids.
People are being deprived of their basic human rights to clean air due to the quick evaporation of the Salton Sea and its airborne toxic playa. Like those who resided near the Aral Sea, the residents of those at the Salton Sea face the same major respiratory health issues. It's clear that the air pollution in the area is not solely contained to the Indio and Coachella valleys. It is now the government's best interest to protect the region and improve the health of the residents. With climate change becoming more imminent, California has acted as a leader in the fight against it, with Governor Jerry Brown at the helm. However, most of the state's air pollution standards currently revolve around vehicle emissions and inner-city issues, with little attention being paid to the Salton Sea. That is, with the exception of the Salton Sea Air Quality and Habitat Funding Bill, setting aside $300 million to be used by the Salton Sea Authority, the largest advocate in the region, for remediation in both air quality and habitat. Focusing on drought resistance, water quality, air quality, and soil health, the bill as a whole would tackle some of the toughest problems the region faces in just a 5-year span, top of the list being wetland restoration and good water management practices. though not nearly broad enough or well-funded enough to combat the issue the sea faces entirely. By 2020, the air conditions in the region will be a momentous improvement compared to that of today. Air quality is nothing to cough at. Persisting as a problem that has been overlooked for decades, the issue may be too far gone to tackle effectively. Action must be taken to reduce the amount of pesticides and increase the amount of water entering the sea, as the health of the residents of the region has been continually ignored by the government in favor of productivity for farmers. That balance of power needs to be shifted into the hands of the citizens. Only then can a real solution to this broad-reaching and long-term problem of air pollution be achieved. Save the sea for the sake of the life around it.